welcome to part 17. Now, before you go on at me, I know that the last video, part 16, was 45 minutes, 3 parts of an hour. But I just thought, you know what, I'll leave it as it is, because it would have been easy to make it fast and quick. But you need to sort of understand what's involved and how long things take. But this one, I'll make it a lot shorter. So we're about to cover the tailplane, and the main body of the whole aircraft is going to be urine. What the hell am I talking about? Aura cover. Now, this one is Ferrari red, and you get all the instructions with it. So I'm not going to bother. You can read it. There you go. Okay. So now, I bought a roll of this rather than using what they've given me for 2 reasons. Number one, if you make a mistake, you've got to recover it, and there's not enough there to recover it, so you've got to get it right first time if you just use whatever they've got. That's number one. Number two, as in most things in manufacturing, it's like wallpaper. If you buy wallpaper and then discover you haven't got enough, and you go back and you get the same pattern, it's not always of the same batch. It'll be slightly different. The colours will be slightly lower or slightly higher. So you're better off just using a brand new roll. It's all the same hue. You're not going to run out. You'll have enough to recover it if you make a mistake. That's my advice. I'm sticking with it. You know, if you don't like it, well, go and eat a biscuit. So now what I've done is I have drawn around the tailplane there. This is going to be the bottom, the underneath. We're going to leave approximately 20 mil or so around the edge. We have to leave this part exposed because we need to glue it to the fuselage, or the fuzz as I like to call it. And they do give you some guidance on that. So look, you need your cutting board. Here's your cutting board. If you haven't got one, go and buy one. Okay, simple as that really. And you're going to need a ruler, and you're going to need a pen to draw around it. So we're now going to cut that out. It's not going to be too hard to do, because all you're going to do is follow the lines that you've already made. So here we go, making sure that you've got a nice sharp blade. Okay, you haven't got to be exact cutting it out, because you know, you're cutting out more than what you really need, but that becomes self-evident once you've started. You've got to overlap it, and don't forget, this is designed to shrink. It will go smaller. Now hopefully, there we go. Right, there we are. Now we're going to put all this to one side now. And oh yeah, one more tip: get yourself some pegs. Put your pegs like that, and you will have no more problems. Okay, and it saves you on elastic bands as well. Right, now I need to heat up the iron. I'll be straight back. Right, let's go on the roller coaster ride. Now I'm not looking through the viewfinder here, so if it goes out of shot, I apologise, but my health and safety is paramount. So I'm just going to tack this along the edge like that. Notice I'll put some pegs on just to hold it, because I have not asked my good lady wife to assist me in this, and I don't think she would anyway, because she doesn't want to be on the video, because she likes privacy. There you go. There you are. Make sure it's stuck down the whole length, and then once it's stuck on, you don't need the pegs. Okay, so now you've got a straight edge. Now we've got to pick a side. Doesn't matter which side, and because you're giving yourself something to grip on, so you've got that 20 odd mil or 2 centimeters over, you can grip it Now I'm going to try and work from where I've stuck it down. It's a bit awkward. I'm not going to go right up to the very edges because I want to use them in my favour. So if I just lean that onto the cutting board like that, and go up that edge like so. Now this is going to be a lot easier than doing the rudder because it's got straight lines in it and it's just not an particularly awkward shape. I'll be starting from here because I've tacked it down here, you see. So start there. I'm just checking it as I go along. There we have it tacked down. Now I want to tack it along here, and obviously we don't want to go right up, so you need to know where you are in relation to the wood, because we're going to trim that off. I hope that's in shot for you. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to use the knife and we're going to cut some 45s. So I'm going to slice it there and there, following that line, and again in here, cut this along here, and so I do this left-handed, I don't know, along there. Let's do a little bit of a in place. And now you can pull that over. You see that? Can you see where it is yet? Okay, and then we're just going to trim all that off. I'll see you in a minute. Well, this is what you're going to end up with, something similar to that, and this allows you to glue the bottom side to the fuzz. So now we're going to do the top side. So don't forget, it's the shiny side up here, and we're going to allow roughly 20mm, so you can grab it, and we're going to grab the pen, and we're going to just, whoop, if the ink will come out, yeah, roughly around like that, there you go, okay, and that'll follow that line. And just to make it a little bit easier when you're cutting out, in fact you don't want to cut the middle out, do you? There you go, just giving yourself a chance, because don't forget this top bit of film is going to be discarded Yeah. So you need your scissors, and you can put your peg on the end there like that. Stop everything dramatically unrolling. And that outside line is just a guide. That's all it is, nothing more than a guide. And what we might do, use the knife on that bit. This is why you need a cutting board. There you go. That piece hopefully is now independent. And it's a bit like Blue Peter, this, isn't it? Don't think we need the scissors just for a minute. So you got the whole thing cut out. Now this has to cover the entirety of that. Now this is all wrinkly now. We don't want to put the heat on that just yet, so don't do it. And we're going to hold the offer that up. Make sure it is how we want it to be, and we are going to part the paper. Now sometimes if you put a little nick in there with the knife, it'll come up. That's my topical tip. Okay, and you'll see that the glue is on there. Yeah, it's not. It only becomes really tacky when it gets hot. Okay, and lay that down like that. Give yourself plenty of edge. We always be generous when you want to put the edges on. Now you've got to be able to pick it up. And just for now, I'm going to pop that peg in there like that. Okay, stretch it over like that. Check the other side. Okay, and that allows you then to pull on it. Yeah. So what I'm going to do, so I've not got much edge there. Look. Plenty that side, so we're going to move that over, take them off, slide it along a little bit. That's it. Start again. Right, we'll just do one of those edges. We've only got to go down as far as there. Don't go any further in that corner because you've got to pull that back. Okay, because you've got to make it like a drum as best you can anyway. And now, because you've got your finger and your thumb there, you've got plenty to hold on to. Okay, and just run it up and down like that. There you go. Can you see that? And maybe if I move the camera a little bit. Want to move. There you go. Is that better? Just run it up and down like that. Okay. You don't want to go any further than that point there. And then you've got to do this bit here. So we're going to take that one off there. Put it in there. So just to hold it in place, because you know you've only got one pair of hands. Well, most people have anyway. Okay, there you go. What does that sound? Handist. I don't know. But you want to avoid touching your thumb. Okay. And you can take these off. Now you can pull, you just pull it. I'm going to work from the middle out to the edges. You always keep a bit of tension with your thumb. Just leave yourself a few millimetres before you hit that edge. Ooh. See, that's why you need that little bit of extra slack, you see, so you can, you know, use your little finger to hold it at the top there. There you go. A little bit like playing chords on the guitar. Stretch your fingers a little bit. You really don't want to burn your thumb. Okay, so now it looks something like that. Now, I'm going to trim this off. You're watching? So get it right in that corner. Pierce it. And slowly and precisely as you can, just go along that edge. Like that. It's difficult to do sometimes because you really want, as best you can, you don't cut towards you, but sometimes that's just awkward, isn't it? There you go. Let's pin that down. Okay. Do the other side. I know my hand's in the way, but you have to kind of find your own way that's comfortable for you. There you go. Make sure you get rid of the excess off the board because nylon is electrostatic, it'll stick to each other, and next thing you know you've got pieces on there that you didn't intend having on there. Anyway, there you go. So let's do this bit here. Let's give it a few millimetres, a couple of millimetres from the edge, because you want to wrap it round. As I keep saying, try to cut away from you as much as you can. And now you want to cut that end off there, because that's your excess, and then cut a 45 in it. Okay. Now trim off. Can you see that okay? Yeah, just about. Trim as much of that off as you dare without ruining it. Yeah. Make sure you got that 45 in there like that. And then just do another little 45 there. This part, I suppose, is akin to being a tailor in some ways. Make sure you get all the excess off. Now, let's trim. I wonder if you'd be better doing this. Yeah, let's do that. Gently, gently, slowly. You see, if you rush covering, you'll end up just stripping it all off and starting again. Get a bit of tension on the film. Now, already I can feel this blade going slightly blunt. Just a little bit there. Well, I could get away with that. Is it worth it? No, it's not worth it. Okay, so we've got this little corner here to deal with. So I'm going to cut it there and just take that little, about a mil, maybe 2, off that edge there. Okay, the same over here. Make sure it's off your cutting board. Now, I've got to pull this over, and you'll notice you'll have that little flap there. See that little flap? You don't want that. So you have got to decide where to cut it. Okay, that bit is excess. Pull that flap over, and it becomes dead obvious now that you've got to cut it there like that. So that's got to come off that bit. You see it doing a bit too much, look, you can see the wood. Never mind. You can cure that. Will it go under? Probably not. But we can put that on there. And that will blend in. In fact, it's almost invisible now. Ready? Look at that. Look at that. I'll just trim that bit off there. In fact, now what I'll do is there you go. So now we're going to pull that over. and just trim off the excess. Okay, same with this one. Okay, trim off the excess. Okay, now we've got to go around all the edges now. Make sure there's a 45 in there. Get rid of all this rubbish that's on there. Make sure there's nothing on the bottom, on the top bit that you haven't done yet. Now, and it's much the same now as you did with the rudder. Okay, let's see, that need trimming off. As I said in my last video, which was what, 16, I didn't say I was good at it. All the way around. Corners are usually a little bit awkward. Right, flat. Okay, there we are. Now, can that be ironed down a little bit there? Perhaps, perhaps not. Okay, so obviously the top bit is going to be on show. Now, this is where we're going to put the sock on. Remember that iron is hot. I'll hold that there. Now, make sure you get no bits and bobs hanging around anywhere. And here we go. Starting from the middle and working my way out. And we'll try and do this as evenly with the top and the bottom as we can, because obviously if one side shrinks faster than the other, you're going to end up with a bit of a bow. Turn it over. That one's almost gone straight away. Back over. Yeah, you see all the wrinkles coming out now. Just keep it moving. Don't leave it in one place. Oh, have to recover that. Got it too hot. See that there? It's because I got it too hot. That's okay, I can redo that bit. There you are. So, I'll redo that bit. Do it off camera. It's not a big deal. So basically it'll come out like that. Take my sock off. And then all you do then is just go around the edges one more time. Like there. But because that's going to come off anyway, I won't bother doing that edge. So you just go around the edges and do it one more time. Now if you get a bow in it, all you have to do is heat it up the opposite side and it'll take the bow out. So I think that's gone on long enough. I will get that fixed. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Cheers.